Hi, I'm Shauna. This is Shauna's World. Welcome back to my channel where I focus on living well physically, mentally and spiritually. To me, a big part of living well is about minimizing our impact on the planet and kind of living as gently as possible and as lightly as possible. So for that reason, I'm taking you along with me today on a train journey to Hamburg. So usually I would fly to Hamburg. I've flown to Hamburg in the past, but I looked into the trains. It was about 9 hours each way, so I thought, why not? So I'm going for a Traverse conference called Reboot. Traverse is a company that works with travel content creators, and I've been to lots of their events before and they're absolutely blooming fantastic. But I'm really excited. This one has more of a wellness element to it, and I'm really excited that I'm going to be leading a breathwork session at this one. So yeah, it would be nice to be on the other side of things. I was absolutely thrilled that they agreed to me taking the train, because the train is a bit more expensive than the plane, but actually when you think of the cost on the environment and the planet, I think it's the right thing to do, to be taking trains as much as possible. Now I do feel maybe a bit hypocritical with this, because I'm taking the train on this journey, but I know I'm going to be flying later in the year, but I'm going to be flying to places that you can't take the train, or it would take weeks and weeks and weeks. So yeah, I'm not exactly proud of that, but I feel like every flight reduced, every bit minimized makes a difference. So I'm really glad I'm doing it. I'll share a bit about what it's like and how the journey goes. And anything you might need to know along the way. Okay, so first part of the journey is going from Kingston to St Pancras, so it's not a very exciting part of the journey. I do this kind of all the time, travelling around London. Okay, I'm at St Pancras. I'm a bit early, so I can't check into my Eurostar just yet. I don't really know how it works. It's been a long time since I've got the Eurostar, literally years. I've just got a coffee. My favourite coffee place in St Pancras, which was called Sourced, has closed down, and yeah, they were the only one that weren't like a chain, and the coffee was actually really good. Yeah, so gutted about that. But, you know, coffee's coffee, can't complain. So I'm just gonna go see what's going on with the Eurostar and when I can check in. They told me to get here 45 minutes to an hour early. It looks like they're still checking in for much earlier trains. So let's see what they're saying. I am through passport control and just waiting to board. It's so much easier than flying. I really prefer getting the train to flying. It's just waiting. It's quite busy, but not rammed. It's not like Stansted Airport at 7 AM. That was a thoroughly pleasant journey. I really enjoyed it. Got some stuff done on my laptop, even though the Wi-Fi wasn't really working. I managed to get some stuff done that I didn't need Wi-Fi for. It was very comfortable. Now I have about 20 minutes before I need to get on my next train where I change at Cologne. just rejoin, please. Okay, I'm just changing at Cologne. That last train I was on from Brussels to Cologne was very full, so it wasn't quite as enjoyable as the Eurostar, but it was still pretty lovely and I got lots done. The Wi-Fi was much better and the trains are just really nicely set out here. The space where the toilets are and you put your luggage is just better and more manageable, and it doesn't feel so chaotic when it's crowded. So yeah, big fan of the trains here. I've just got on the train from Cologne to Hanover. This one's about 2 hours 40 minutes, and then just one more train after that. This one is quite busy. We'll see if I get 2 seats in the hotel. Changing at Hanover. Got like 6 minutes to my next train because this one was a little bit late. It was only meant to be like 10 minutes anyway, so quite a quick changeover. But it's so good. On the train I just got off, they put on the screen on the trains what platform like trains to other destinations go for, so I knew exactly where I needed to go. Well, I think so. So yeah, I'm just running up the stairs. Got a couple of minutes. Gonna make it. Okay, I've just arrived in Hamburg and I'm just going to walk to the hotel now. I was really lucky because I booked a train to the Hauptbahnhof, the main train station in Hamburg, and then I thought I had to change for another train to one nearer the hotel, but the train I was on actually ended up there, so I just stayed on the train. Don't know if I was meant to buy another ticket to go the extra bit, but I didn't, and it was fine. But yeah, it's nice to be back in Hamburg. Been here only once before, but I think it was 2007, so yeah, a long time ago. But yeah, it's been a really enjoyable train journey. I think I enjoyed it a lot more than I would have enjoyed flying. It's a lot less stressful, except for that brief rush when I thought I was gonna miss my train, but it was fine. But it was just nice. I chilled out, I had my laptop out, listened to my audiobook, played around on my phone, and yeah, I'm a big advocate for taking the train instead of the plane. I thought it was fantastic. I'm at the hotel in Hamburg, which is very nice, but I just wanted to reflect a bit on my experience of getting the train all the way from London to Hamburg. So it was something I've been thinking a lot. If I travel in Europe, I want to get the train as much as I can. With some trips, it's not really feasible if it's a really short trip or whatever, and you're going to spend more time traveling than you are in the place. But actually for this trip, it's perfect. And if I'd flown, I often find on days when I'm flying, because of the times or whatever, I don't do anything that day anyway. I don't get somewhere and go out exploring. I'm still kind of unwinding and processing. So actually it doesn't really matter that I've spent so long on a train. So door to door, with leaving my boat and getting to the hotel, it was just over 12 hours. So it is a long day and it's a lot of sitting, but it was really enjoyable, and just, yeah, I just enjoyed the process and I would definitely do it again. But in terms of the environmental benefits, I looked on a carbon calculator, and just taking the train rather than flying saved around just over 87 kilograms of carbon, which is a lot. And I'm really proud of that. And now I know a lot of people would say, well, the plane's going anyway, you're not really making a difference and you might as well get the plane because it's better the plane is full. But unless we demand change by showing that we're committed to taking trains, I think of it as like voting with your money. Where you spend your money is how you show the powers that be where the demand is and where we should be focusing our energy. So I feel like, yes, I could have got a flight to Hamburg today. That flight was going anywhere. But if enough people start taking the train rather than flying, well, maybe there'll be less flights and then we'll start seeing a tangible difference in the carbon emissions. I also am very conscious that I surround myself with a lot of very environmentally minded people who've given up flying altogether. I would love to do that at some point. I guess that's a goal for me long term.
But right now I'm not ready to do that. I have things that I'm desperate to do that are just so far away that I can't do them without flying. I'm taking my sabbatical later in the year, and that's going to involve quite a lot of flying, although I'm going to try and limit it as much as I can. And things like taking direct flights rather than changes, even if it's a bit more expensive, because that's slightly less carbon impact. So yeah, maybe it's a little bit hypocritical that I get the train on one journey and I'm still flying, and I would love to cut down flying, but it still makes a small amount of difference. And if it's one journey or it's two journeys going out and back to Hamburg and back to London, that's still making a small impact, and that's still putting my demand where I think there should be focus. I'm saying the train is more important, and I really believe the trains are the future, and I hope prices come down, because on the negative side of taking the train, it was almost double the price of taking a flight. So it is a privilege. It is a privilege to be able to do that. I mean, travel is a privilege anyway, but I recognize that not everybody can take the train all the time. Sometimes things are really tight, but I do think when we are traveling as a luxury, it's worth investing a little bit more in taking the train, because the people that the climate crisis is impacting the most are the people who are not flying at all. It's predominantly people living in poverty in the global south. And I recognize that my choices are impacting them. And I know there's a lot of cognitive dissonance, and I take responsibility that I'm not always doing the right thing, but I'm also, in a lot of ways just not ready to ditch flying altogether. But I do want to get there. That is a long-term goal. And I've definitely focused on being more mindful about my flying. I mean, I used to just go away for a weekend or book holidays just because I felt like it. But I am a lot more mindful. And yeah, this is my first time going abroad since 2019. And I'm really glad that I chose to take the train. It was a joyful experience, and one that does a little bit better for our planet. So I really hope that this video has made you consider taking the train instead of flying if you're traveling in Europe, or if you're on another continent but traveling somewhere where you could fly, but you could also take the train. And yes, it's a bit longer and more inconvenient, but actually it can be a really nice experience. So do think about it. Do explore when you're going away. Could you take a train? Could you take a boat? Are there alternatives to flying? Because for a lot of us, it's hard to cut out flying altogether. But if we can just cut down the journeys we're flying and swap it for more sustainable travel as much as we can, we're still making an impact and we're still moving in the right direction. So I hope that this has helped you consider that. And if it hasn't, that's okay. I'm glad to have shared this journey, and I hope it's been interesting to watch. Leave a comment down below if you would consider taking the train instead of flying, or if you've done it before. I'd be really interested to hear how many people are doing this. I know in my circles, with my colleagues at work, someone took the train from London to Barcelona the other day. I do think, as people become more scared by the climate crisis and more move to make changes, I think more people are making that shift to train travel instead of flying where it's possible. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. It really does support the channel. And if you like the things I'm sharing, please do subscribe to my channel for more exciting videos on living well. And for now, I'm going to unwind after a lot of sitting. I'm going to have a bit of a stretch, and just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you having here. Let me know what you thought, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.